Hey, this is it. You know what it is. It's your boy Trot Wham, Wham Talk, live and direct. But we really filmed. We're gonna be live soon. Let's get it. Southeast Division NBA preview 2019. Let's go. Miami Heat. Let's get right into it. We can start off with a few of these additions. They started off making a big splash with who, and you know, the man, Mr. Buckets, Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is one of the first additions, key contributor to a lot of the success last year for Philadelphia 76ers. With Miami Heat picked out exactly who they've been going after for a long time, and they got it done. So congratulations to them. Get down to it. Other notable additions, your man Tyler Hero. Let's go right into that as well. This guy is like the East Coast version of Caruso right now. He getting all the hype, but he balling though. He balling. Shooting guard more so off ball. Had a great career last year. At Kentucky, did a great thing there. Under Calipari, did his thing. Tyler Hero right now, bussing. He just had a great game against the Hawks preseason though, so we know we're not really planning on these guys. We're not having any game plans for any of these players. That's kind of tacky, so they don't do anything like that. But eventually, during the season, we'll see what this kid has. It's still early, so it really isn't out, but he's looking pretty good and he's playing pretty good. He has a shot. And if you have a shot in this league, you can make a jumper, you could probably make something of yourself. Miles Leonard, you know what I'm saying? We could go right into Miles Leonard. He a cool defender. He all right. He don't center. That's a good addition. But as far as like what they really were actually needing, and I'm going right into it, they actually needed a point guard. We all seen what happened. They wanted to get rid of Dragic during the season. They made the trade request, or they made a potential trade with Dallas to get Dragic out. Something happened right there. It didn't even go all the way through. So I'm not sure if they're going to trade Dragic or they're going to go in and look for Gordon Dragic, who is the point guard. Sorry if you guys didn't know. I'm jumping right into it a lot. I'm trying to get Wham Talk really quick, get these previews out the way. You feel me? So we can get all this out the way before we can start talking on these bets. But mainly Gordon Dragic. We don't know where he's at. He's still projected to be the starter. We could go right into the depth chart for these teams. It's Gordon Dragic. Justin Winslow was a lot of the point guard last year. We'll see what happens now. He's still projected to be the backup point guard, but come on, y'all. I said this plenty of times. You guys know me. Trot Wham on Twitter. I'm also inside every chat room that has something to do with gambling, mostly. You feel me? Because I'm always in the community. But going to what they lost D Wade. Farewell tour was great. D Wade, we salute. You know what I'm saying? Trot Wham. I with you, bro. But going back to who they really lost, that was a big loss to me. I think Josh Richardson was a huge loss. A lot of the perimeter defense that they were doing, that was great. A lot of that had to do with Josh Richardson. He has a really good perimeter defense. He's a spotty shooter. He can make some shots while he's wide open. He's really kind of streaky, but he's a baller. You know what I mean? You know a hooper from a hooper, he hoop. You know what I mean? So he deserved his spot and he deserved any accolades that's coming in the future. Going forward with who else did they lose? They did make a trade and got rid of Hassan Whiteside, who didn't really buy in originally. They did pay him, so they made the mistake. But for the most part, they got rid of his ass. We'll see what happens with him. You know what I mean? I think he's gonna have a pretty good year, maybe. Or maybe he's just a bum ass motherfucker like Andrew Bynum and do some weird shit like that. Who knows? But going to their depth chart, because I kind of brazed in it because we started talking about Dragic, because we really don't know about their point guard situation. I kind of brought that into play. We don't know what's going on with their point guard. I think they may make some trades later on, and we'll talk about a little bit more about that later on. So going right into the shooting guard, we got Tyler Hero, backup shooting guard. Of course, Dion Waiters did a really good tune for this team as well years prior. So they're going to probably give him the respect, but I could actually see Tyler Hero maybe be able to sneak up in there if he could get some defensive notable games. If he gets some defensive notable games, I could see him actually creeping himself up in the starting lineup. Going to who they have in shooting guard, I mean, in small forward, they got at the three, they got Jimmy Butler, and they got Deion Jones. Deion Jones been balling, you know what I'm saying, doing his thing, dunking on everybody, you know, and doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? I can't complain what he doing. But going to who they have at power forward, they got Kelly Olynyk. Kelly Olynyk, he cool. You know what I mean? I think Kelly Olynyk might be, another one of those players that he could possibly, find his way on the bench later on down the line in this game, in this rotation, knowing that they may make some different trades later on down the line. I think they're going to make some different trades, possibly get a player like Steven Adams, something in that nature. Who knows? Maybe do something in that realm and possibly get another point guard too. So at center, they got Bam Adebayo, really a power forward, but he has center, you know what I'm saying? So he doing his thing though. He hold it down. He doing his thing. He's doing his best as he can. You feel me? When the schemes that he has available for him. So and they have Kelly Olynyk backing him up. But like I said before, they don't really have a point guard. They have been linked to CP3. Reason why I brought up Steven Adams, a possibility later on down the line. I think that's a rumor that may be able to come out and do something. I'm not trying to bring this into fruition. This is a preview segment, but that's something that I've been looking into, and that be maybe make some sense of this. But as far as like Miami, I'm not that high on them. And then if you guys have noticed, if you guys see me on Twitter, I did tweet out who do you guys think is going to be winning the Southeast Division. A lot of you guys think Miami is. And I think it was like at 49% last time I checked it. I don't agree with that, to be honest with you guys. I think it's a lot of hype behind Tyler Hero. Like I said, he's like the East Coast Alex Caruso. You know what I'm saying? They hyping the boy up. And then as far as everything else, um, going to the addition to Jimmy Butler, which is great. I think they still have certain issues that they have to overcome first in order for me to be able to say they're better than other teams in this division. So I don't think they are the best, but I think they are top tier in the best of this division, the Southeast Division. But I don't think they're the best, to be honest. But going into why, I honestly think they have a tough schedule out early. The first 15 games, 10 of those games are on the road. Some of those games are against high quality teams early on. And getting a team together, throwing them out on the road, necessarily, not necessarily is going to be a bad situation, but it's not the recipe for success. It's more so the recipe for disaster. So I would look into this case to be little gun shy on backing Miami out early just because a lot of those games are going to be on the road. But as far as anything else, man, I really like Miami Heat long term. They could probably get it together. I just don't think they're the best in this division. But I'm not as high on a lot of them as a lot of people is. So I'm trying to turn down those Miami Heat fires. You feel me? So nothing against them. I think they can make the right trades and become a major contender in the East if they do. Some are good trades, but I'm not really messing with them right now. But going into the other teams that I like, we could talk about it all day, but let's talk about it right now. Let's get right into it. The Atlanta Hawks. We right back with it. Wham Talk. Let's get it. Back at y'all real quick, real brief. Man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm right back with it, man. I think this is a great year for the Atlanta Hawks. Now, the Atlanta Hawks, they sneaky. They sneaky. And you know what? I just talked about, I put out that tweet. I asked my mom. Who she like out of these teams. She read them off. She definitely wasn't messing with the Wizards. She definitely wasn't messing with the Charlotte Hornets either. She said she liked the Atlanta Hawks. I was like, oh, okay, you like the Atlanta Hawks? That's interesting because they have some things that I like about them. So let's go right into them. They had some really good additions. Last year, let's talk about what they did. Last year, they had a 29 and 33, and I'm sorry, and 53. I said 33. Come on now. They had a 29 and 53 record. They had against the spread record was 42 and 40, and now and also a notable stat that they had last year was the over was hitting at 57%. And that's a lot of that had to do with the young mans out there hitting them threes, you feel me? So they was hitting those overs real smooth and steady. And I think they got a lot they might have some pretty good things coming together today. So let's go into what they added. What they did last off season during the mid-season, whatever. But they started off adding Evan Turner, great addition. What they lacked was perimeter defense. Evan Turner's pretty good perimeter defender. He's not the top tier player that he used to be, or I'm sorry, the perimeter defense is what he was. But it's still he knows tricks of the trade, may be able to do the same thing he's going to be looking and see Vince Carter do. Tell these young whippersnappers how to get it down. You know what I'm saying? That's all I think what Vince Carter is. I think Vince Carter is just walking around the locker room, you know what I'm saying, tripping, like, oh, what you doing right now? What you doing with your money? You got something going on? You investing? You know what I mean? I think he doing shit like that to the young man. It's like, let them breathe, bro. Let them breathe. But I think that might pass down to Evan Turner. He might be one of those older players in his locker room, and it might end up, passing down. He end up telling them what to do because he ain't playing as much. But I like Evan Turner. Evan Turner's going to probably do some good things for this team. Not that much notable, but he's a good addition. Starting off who they really added, you know what I'm saying, to as far as a splash, it was Jabari Parker. They made a splash and got Jabari Parker. I don't really like Jabari Parker too much. He looks the same. Jabari Parker and Hassan Whiteside and Andrew Bynum, those type and I'm disrespecting Andrew Bynum because my man got a ring. He actually had some good playoff games. He did his thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm disrespecting them, but they all give me the same vibe though. As far as like what they seen, what you seen from them, they give me the same vibe. I don't get that same vibe with some players this year. A la Julius Randle. You know what I mean? Other players that you look at as far as promise, I just feel like, maybe Jabari Parker isn't that nice. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Jabari Parker isn't that nice, but he's pretty good, you know what I'm saying? Because he's athletic, but I think he doesn't go right or some shit like that. But going to who else they added, they drafted Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish has a really good jumper. He did a pretty good job with Duke last year. Didn't do a good enough job because he didn't get them through because he was the reason why they didn't push further. You know what I mean? In my opinion, but we'll talk about that another time. So Cam Reddish could possibly be out there for the shoddy look. You know what I mean? We might not be able to see what type of motor he has. You know what I'm saying? But in this environment, I think he's going to thrive. I think he's a young rook. They're gonna try to, keep his arms around him. You know what I'm saying? They're a rookie. You know what I mean? So I feel like he's gonna do a pretty good job. Alan Crabb, you know what I'm saying? A salary dump contract type of thing scenario going down here with Alan Crabb being in this spot. So we're not going to waste our time too much talking about there. DeAndre Hunter is projected a starter. Now, this is what's interesting to me. Now, DeAndre Hunter was already, projected to be one of those players in this coming draft that's not on a Zion level. Now, when you usually tell that to a player in a draft that gets drafted in the NBA, they usually have a great NBA career. I've heard that from a lot of other players, you know what I mean? Like as far as like what they do and exactly throughout their career, a lot of they draft talk thrives them and drives them to do a great job. So I'm actually looking in DeAndre Hunter. I'm gonna look at him on that aspect, at least for here on out, to see as far as what he does in his rookie contract, or in his rookie deal, see what he does, and I'm gonna see if that's a motivational factor for him. But going to Vince Carter, they re-signed Vince Carter. That was great and all. He's just gonna be walking around being an old man as he is. You feel me? Damian Jones via trade. Golden State Warriors, which is interesting. I watched a couple of the games preseason. He looks as good and promising as I thought he would be. And Golden State, a lot of those players in Golden State, they actually could still ball. They can still play. They just can't play this system that they play. So I'm looking to see what he does as well on this team, knowing that they don't really have that much of a center behind Alex Lynn. You know what I mean? Alex Lynn possibly could lose his job. So and and let's go right into it there. You know what I'm saying? We could go right into it. Alex Lee could possibly lose his job, but who who um who they lost was Kent Basemore, Solomon Hill, Miles Plumley, Amari Spellman, who they traded with the Warriors, not the trade with the Warriors, but Amari Spellman and Terian Prince, who they traded with the Warriors as well. So I think that's the notable one was Terian Prince. Terran Prince is one of the losses I think that's more notable in this case. Solomon Hill, he's a good player as well. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think he was playing that much with them. I don't remember him playing as much as he was as far as like when he was in New Orleans. He played a little bit more there. Miles Plumley. We could go on and on about Miles Plumley. The Plumley brothers are nice, but we could just leave that there. Terrence Prince, I think he was a more notable loss that they've have, and I think they actually put more players in returning, so they kind of subsidize that loss. But go into their depth chart. We'll bring this up. I got the depth chart right here. You know what I mean? You know who they got starting. It's Trey Young. Coming off the backup bench is Evan Turner. So Evan Turner is noting to be the backup point guard there. Now they got the young the red mamba. What is Hooter? Man, I should ask Siri. I'm sorry, I forgot. You feel me? I forgot the man's name. His name is Kevin, though I believe. And they got Cam Reddish backing him up at the shooting guard spot. And like I said, they have my man. They have my man DeAndre Hunter starting at the small forward. I think he might be able to flourish in that spot. Like I said before, it might be a motivational thing. He may be able to do something good. And underneath that, they got my young man. They call him the super sub. That's that man Bambry. You feel me? He's nice. You feel me? He got a great jumper, cool defense. I seen this man do some great things last year. He had a great breakout year. They call him the super sub for a reason, and that's another reason why I was kind of intrigued when my mom said that she liked the Hawks because a lot of the Hawks, when you remind me of the Hawks, I think of John Collins, who is one of the oldest Hawks there, and Bembry, who is another. I think he's the second oldest Hawk there. So it's amazing that what I mean. We have that. She said that, and I just thought about them because he's a really good player. He has really good defense. He has a good spot of jumper. He's like more of a set shoot jumper, and he could break down players. He has a good handle. You know what I'm saying? So it's the guy with the braids. If you guys, if you don't know, you know what I'm saying. His braids come back down. You feel me? But he got a cool little game on him. You know what I'm saying? Y'all may want to watch out for him this year. John Collins. John Collins is the starting point power forward. He's always played good. I think he was a little injured, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't really pull too much on there, but I don't think he's not injured right now. Of course, he's going into the season healthy. He should be having a good year coming into this year. So we'll see what he do. They tried to get a splash and have his backup be Jabari Parker just in case, but Jabari Parker he's limited skill wise. So we'll figure out how that works. And as far as Damian Jones is the backup center, and they have Alex Lynn. Maybe Damian Jones could win this spot if he plays really good. Who knows? But right now he's a backup center. But as far as what this team is all about, the interesting thing about this team is that they have two max free agent spots next year. We'll have a free agent preview, you know what I'm saying, later on down the year. We'll go into it, but they got two max spots free agent wise. So they're looking to make some type of right adjustments with these young players. They're trying to see what they could do with these young players and see who they could add to make that next push to becoming a contender sooner along. But DeAndre Bambry, the second longest tier Hawk. You know what I mean? Behind John Collins, the super sub. I'm watching out for him. They have 5.3 million in cap space right now, so they may be able to add somebody else that's a mid level type of guy, whatever. Who knows? Whatever, whatever there. Whatever there. I don't got too much high on this team though, to be honest with you. I think they're gonna be. This is the second year of the coach. He's off the Bud book, the Coach Bud tree, basically from Milwaukee. So he's a cool, smooth little cat. He have his little jersey, I mean his little suits on and stuff. He's smooth, cool. You know what I'm saying? I might see him making another leave. This is second year. I like coaches coming in their second year more so than their first year because they get to see the players, they get to pick the players that they like, and they get to make more adjustments that they found that was right the last year and found that was wrong the last year as well. So you never know. Everybody can make improvements. Starting last year, 6-23 definitely was a something that was learning for this coach. So I would think that he would make adjustments early on. So we could watch the Atlantic Hawks become a pretty profitable team early on because of what happened last year. They had such a bad start. They started off 6-23, which possibly lost my man the MVP. You feel me? Lost your boy Trey Young the MVP. So it lost them the MVP possibly, and they could probably make adjustments and figure out a way to capitalize on that this year. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking for them to do something good, and we're watching them early. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about we're gonna watch them early, early. But yeah, let's go back into the next one. Now the next one it isn't the best one, but we'll start off, hit you with the left side, the right side. DC, Washington Wizards. They don't got John Wall this year, but we're going to come right back with y'all. I think DJ Big Boss said I got to say something about the sponsors or something, but fuck it. Let's do what we got to do. Who-Bangin Sports, Wham Talk, appreciate you. Let's talk about it. Washington Wizards. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, this your boy, Try Wham. We going to do this real quick. Washington Wizards NBA Breakdown 2019. Now, what they added on, let's go. Let's start off positive. They got my man Thomas Bryant. Well, they already had him. They got him traded through from the Lakers. I know him because of that. But they re-signed the man. They re-signed him. He got him a Benz truck now. He whipping it to work, but he's still enthused as if he doesn't have the Benz truck. I read something and it literally said that the reporter wrote that. It's crazy. Now the man is just enthused because he's excited, he's uppity and doing all that stuff. What they really end up getting out of this young kid was a trading piece, in my opinion. Maybe a trading piece. I don't think they're gonna build around him. He could be, a build around player because they just drafted the young boy from Gonzaga, Hachimura. I'm sure I'm saying his name wrong. God forgive me, you feel me? But they got it. They got him. He's a pretty good power forward. I liked him in Gonzaga. We'll see what the young kid could do. They got Mo Wagner as well. They got Mo Wagner through via trade as well with the Thomas Bryant trade, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. They got Mo Wagner. He ain't about to be doing nothing. I really believe Mo Wagner probably wouldn't even been drafted, but now he's drafted so high, so he gets a little bit more clout. So let's just go into the next person. You know, now if y'all don't know who this dude is, it's Justin Anderson. Justin Anderson, he's the guy that a couple of weeks ago, Marcus Morris, one of the twins brothers, he just got traded to the Knicks, slapped him on his face with the ball. That's him. That's who Justin Anderson is. I don't need to say no more there. Now Jeremy O. Jones, who was added with the trade with the Lakers. Another, I appreciate him. I had a couple run-ins with your boy on Twitter. Shout out to Jeremy O. Jones. You feel me? Acknowledging the gambling community. You feel me? You should be doing that. Don't do that, bro. But going back into what this guy you probably know him from. He was a bench player on the Lakers, and he played pretty good though, and he also got shout out with Lou William on the No Chill Gill podcast. You know what I'm saying? But he's a pretty good player, has a lot of energy, and on the shout out, basically Lou Will said he locked him down. So my man got a little defense. I could see him playing big time minutes next year. You know what I'm saying? So going to who else they got? They got IT Isaiah Thomas. All my man needs is a shot. That's all we know. That's all we say. He could possibly be that next guard that they need to come off the perimeter and give some offensive momentum. They need another shooter here. They need somebody that could come off the perimeter, break somebody down, and could get a bucket. They don't have that right now because John Wall is out, and we all know John Wall is not playing this year neither. So he's probably not playing until Kevin Durant comes back, and we could go back into all that, but that's another loss. Let's start off with there. They lost John Wall. He's not coming expected to come back until 2020 until the Rams move into Inglewood Stadium. He ain't come back there then. And they lost Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis beating up everybody. Probably scared somebody. They got rid of his ass. You feel me? You feel me? But they lost Jonathan Simmons, who played big minutes with them. A lot of that, played big minutes with them. Sam Decker, he played some cool minutes with them as well. But Sam Decker, he on his way out. Wesley Johnson, he on his way out. Probably ain't been the same since he left the Lakers. Well, really, I ain't gonna say that because he ain't been the same in a while. But going to what they depth chart is, and we just gonna breeze through the Washington Wizards because we have no expectation what they're gonna do. They hit 46% ATS last year. I'm expecting them to probably be doing something around the same. You know what I mean? But at this point, the depth chart is Ish Smith, who's a great guard, but he's more so a backup point guard rather than a starting point guard. Isaiah Thomas coming off the back. Who knows? He may be coming off the back. They may try to do him dirty. Bradley Bill, he gonna try to, try to stay around. He's not gonna do too much. They might end up trading the man. We'll find out. McCray, another up and coming player. You know what I mean? We'll figure out what this happens. So a lot of this is up and coming scenarios. A lot of these players, that I'm saying, either they're on their way out of the league or they're on their way in the league. So this is more so a revolving door scenario with the Washington Wizards, the way I look at this season. And CJ Miles is a great player. He's starting at shooting small forward at the three. But he's a great player in spots. He could still get broke down at any given moment. But I ain't gonna waste my time. I ain't gonna waste your time with this. You feel me? This is not. It's one of those teams that you should be talking about during the season. Who knows what they're gonna do on the guard standpoint? Are they gonna make any moves, trade players? Who knows? All I've been hearing, everything is just surrounded by Thomas Bryant. The re-signing that they did, 3 years, 25 million. They trying to put this young man as the focal point, as the catalyst, as one of the pedestals that you need to reach as a young bull. So Hachimura, I'm sure I'm saying your name wrong, bro. I'm sorry. You gotta step it up. You gotta bring that energy. You gotta be like Thomas Bryant, basically, bro. I'm sorry. That's all bad, but that's what they saying right now. And it don't look good. But as far as any betting aspect on this one, I don't think if you want to bet on this team, you definitely have to be on some situational scenario, or you gotta be just on some drunk shit. Don't do that shit. I wouldn't bet on this team if I, had a gun put against my head unless it's in the right spot. But what we could say is that this is a great chance to know that we could X them out as winning the Southeast Division, as my mom already did, and she was correctly doing so. And you see what the bookmakers put them up as well, as far as with the season win total and all that stuff. We ain't even gonna talk about that. I don't think there's no value in any season win total on any of these teams, rather than maybe the Miami Heat or Orlando Magic. But we'll go into that later on. You feel me? I want to give you another headbanger right across your head. Another team that probably lost a lot, lost a franchise, walk out the door, and maybe have a degenerate gambler running the business. The Charlotte Hornets. Let's get it. Hey, what it do? We right back, slide right back in it. Yeah, I said it. I said it. I said it. Maybe my man, a DJing gambler, Michael Jordan. Mm, I'm sorry. I'm talking this shit, man. This is Wham Talk. I can say what I want. This is my show. Charlotte Hornets 2019 preview last year with their points per game, or most points scored, franchise leader, all-star guard, Kemba Walker. There they had a 39-43 record. Trash. Never had no faith in them starting off the season. Correctly so last year. Shout out to me. You feel me? Got a lot of money off of them, but they they didn't help out later on down the line. But let's go into it. Let's go into it. Let's go into it. We could start off and talk about. Let's talk about their additions. They added Terry Rozier after departing with Kemba Walker. They got Scary Terry. Let's see what he does. But the problem here is, who did they bring with him? Who did they add on with him? Let's talk about that. Now they got MKG. He made sure he was getting his money. He's made sure he's opted in as he should. Got that player option. Will be seeing me again. And then they also had PJ Washington, who's possibly getting traded. I mean, from the reports that I heard, I mean, we don't know too much about these players. Kobe Simmons, Thomas Welsh, a center from Thomas Welsh is a center from UCLA. Thomas Walsh, Walsh. I'm sorry, I said Welsh. Thomas Walsh, man. I need Siri bad, bro. With this one, with this division, Southeast Division, man. Y'all got some names, bro. But let's go into what they have Scary Terry and a few players, but what they lost was Frank Kaminsky, Sheldon Mack, Shelvin Mack, a group of point guards basically. Shelvin Mack, Kimball Walker, and Tony Parker. A lot of offensive efficiency that they lost out as well. Somebody that can make and create offense. A lot of that is out. But they got Scary Terry again. So that's one of the things that made noise for me. PJ Washington, what I've been reading, he's most likely PJ Washington is most likely going to get put in the G League, one of their draft picks, put in the G League because they have a pretty thick roster. As far as their depth chart, they got Scary Terry, Devontae Graham coming off the bench. They got Dwayne Bacon, Malik Monk coming off the bench. Now Dwayne Bacon starting at shooting guard, Malik Monk coming off the bench. Can we get Malik Monk to make that jump? Is Malik Monk a bust? Can he play some defense? Let's figure this out this year. We'll find out, right? They got Nicholas Batum. He always come and go. He could give you 30, but then he could give you 10. So we don't figure out, a reliable staple right there. We're probably gonna be in trouble. You know, Dwayne Bacon backing him up. So Dwayne Bacon is expected to have a series of minutes. Now, when you ever see a starter and a starter having a second tier role, as far as a second string role, you expect him to have a significant amount of minutes. So Dwayne Bacon, you expect him to be doing some things. So that's why I added him to a key player, Dwayne Bacon, Miles Bridges, and Scary Terry. Those are the three players we probably gonna have to watch out to see if we get back this team in some nights that the books are down on them. You know what I mean? Miles Bridges, Marvin Williams, that are starting fours. They got Corey Zeller and Biombo. Biombo hasn't looked good since Toronto, but man, we'll figure out Biombo. Maybe Biombo's out of here. Their first 6 games includes a California road trip. That's an interesting thing. It's Chicago, Minnesota first, and then they go on to the California road trip, take the Lakers, the Clippers, Sacramento, and then Golden State. So we'll figure out that this team is, capable of covering spreads or not early on. You know what I mean? That's how I feel, and that's what I'm looking into. That's why I'm going to catch into this team. I think y'all might have a degenerate gambler as a head, as an owner, and I got nothing but love and respect for, what I'm saying, the GOAT, Michael Jordan, but I call it how I see it, player. We live in the same world, you know what I mean? So that's what it is. And let's get it down to this. I'm back at it with the next place and next station. I'm sorry, next place. Next station in all your face, and it's the Orlando Magic. And we cracking. Mo Bamba especially. Mo Bamba, Obama. Mo Bamba, Obama coming off the bench. And they made some splashes, a little bit of tinkle winkles, and you feel me? I don't know if that's appropriate right now for YouTube. They might try to blackball and ban this YouTube shit, but hey, going back to this, we at the last one. I haven't made a bet yet. I mean, y'all watching this, y'all like, wait, why am I watching this? I don't. What are we doing? Like, oh, what are we doing? Hey, check this out. I'm not making no bet on this shit no more. I made my first season win total bet, and I thought about it. I was like, I'm not fucking with this future shit, bro. I'm not from Atlanta, bro. So let's go here, though. Let's go here. Let's go here. I do like Orlando Magic to win the Southeast Division. Right now they're at plus 145. Right now I think I see them at plus 145, and I'm checking while I'm talking about this, and this is filmed, but we live right now. You know what I'm saying? So check this out. We going towards the additions of the Orlando Magic. Last year they made the playoffs. They were at 42 and 40. So it only took them 2 games over 500 to make it at the playoffs. So let's go there. We'll talk about the Eastern Conference. That's why you see me starting off with them because there's parity definitely in the Eastern Conference. Now, the last year's stats are maybe misleading. I'm gonna start off with that disclaimer, but there may be some notable trends here. Starting off, they were number six against the spread at 54%, and they were 55% against the under. So that was something that I wanted to write down and make sure that I put on wax that, hey, they were 55% under last year, and also they covered at a pretty good rate. And a lot of that, probably lost because they lost in the playoffs, and they account those into this breakdown here. So they lost in the playoffs. But if we're talking about season win, they actually had a better percentage than that. But going here, I like this team. 17 home games to 16 road games to start off in this year. So this year, 2019 to 2020, they have a pretty healthy balance of their start of their season. We're going to start off there. That's another reason why I like them to win this division. Their additions here. Now their addition is Alfaruk Aminu. I'm trying to get that correct. Terrence Ross, who they re-signed. Nikola Vucevic, who they re-signed. MCW. I saw MCM. I'm tripping, bro. MCW, who they re-signed. You know what I'm saying? And PJ Johnson. Now let's go into what they did as far as in Al Farouk Aminu. Now, Al Farouk Aminu is a great defender who's played on the Clippers. Now my little brothers would tell you, I've been knowing Al Farouk Aminu's game, loving his defense because he plays similar to how I play. He's playing defense first and everything secondary. So he plays defense first, everything else is secondary. I like that out of him. I like him to bring that to the Orlando Magic because a lot of the things that they have problems with is defending. So if they have that, and going back to who they re-signed, Vucevic, who's their better scorer, who's possibly in his prime at this moment at the age of 28 years old, possibly in his prime right now. They re-signed him, got him a pretty good contract, 100 M's in the bank. He feeling great. And you know how that works. I like what they lost. That's the funny thing here. I like what they lost. That's the funny thing. They lost Jeremy Grant, Timothy Mozgov, Chuma Okiki, who was waived, and Isaiah Briscoe, who they just let walk in free agency. Now they have a really good young team, a really good young team that got to the playoffs last year and covered the first game in the playoffs. In the playoffs, they covered the first game, and that's one of the things that I always liked about this team. I honestly figured that they were, undervalued coming into last year, throughout last year, and also coming into this year. So that's why I feel like this is probably the best bet of this future will be taking the Orlando Magic to win the division. Only thing that I'm concerned is that they may be complacent. They may be keeping the same philosophy in place by red shirting picks like Kuma Okiki, because Kuma Okiki is a draft pick that they have, and I said that earlier out of reluctance, out of just the thought of me telling you who they lost, because they really lost Okuma Kiki because he should be, probably put in. But they have so much uh, depth in the wing position and the forward position, they don't really need to throw somebody else out there like that. So they really trying to redshirt them. They may be stuck in their ways. That hasn't shown that it's been working outside of Vucevic and other players, but who they have, Isaac Fournier, Gordon, DJ Augustine, and Vucevic as far as the starting pair. I like that starting pair against a lot of against any other team in this division. So that alone gives me enough confidence to be able to say this is something that I would recommend is the Orlando Magic to win the division at the Southeast. And I see about 24% of the tweet that I sent out, 24% is saying that about that as well. But I don't think that's enough. A lot of y'all are, maybe wrapped into the Jimmy Butler hype here. We might just be, let's be real with it. He did a great job in Philadelphia, but I don't think he has the same level of consistency offensively in order to be that main guy. That's why they need to make the right moves to be able to make this a team rather than just a collective at this point. But in this point, what they have on the bench is notable. Mo Bamba coming off the bench. Mo Bamba, old mama, coming off the bench. He's a great player. I'm expecting him to do a lot this year. He's going to be healthy. I'm expecting him to do a lot. You know what I mean? So we'll see. I don't want to put too much eggs in one basket, like the OGs always tell you. But they have a great thing as far as what I said earlier in this cast, as far as the second strings, if you see a second string in the starting role, that mostly mean that they're going to play more minutes. Jonathan Isaac is one of those players that fit that mold. One of the starters of in the small forward role, he's a starter in the small forward role, but he's also the second string power forward. So I'm looking for him to have some notable minutes. He played pretty good, last year. Didn't really get the same type of attention, didn't push him all the way out there, but I think they're going to do that more so this year, and we'll see what's up with that. Terrence Ross, one of the players that they re-signed, he's coming off the bench, looking to try to be in that super sub mode, like my man DeAndre. You feel me? And they got Michael Carter Williams backing up DJ Augustine. We'll figure out the point guard situation here early on, because who knows? Markel Fultz, we're not gonna go down that road again. I really had a lot of hope for him last year. We're not gonna go down that road this year, but he's looking all right, right? We'll see. That's about it. And you haven't heard me say anything about Markel Fultz. I'm without him making a splash or doing anything that's contributing to this team to make an impact to win this division. I feel like they're constructed really well, and they can make that jump on their own without him. And if they have him, that only makes it even more so that you should really be on that plus 165. I believe it was 145. I forgot what it was, but you know, I like that. I like that one right there. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. Do what you want to do. Make your own adjustments to your bankroll. Do how you want to do. Bet your own style. But if you like it, you want to take it. I'm taking Orlando Magic. I'm taking it. I'm taking it as soon as I pull it up. Shit. You feel me? Damn. But yeah, but look, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate all y'all to be tuning in. This is your boy Trot Wham on Twitter, Wham OG, my man DJ Big Boss. You know what we doing over here. Who-Bangin Sports, this Wham Talk, and this is really Wham Talk. I'm sipping some drink right now. I'm feeling good. I'm off work. We capping games. You feel me? We talking poops. I appreciate everybody out there from tuning in to Wham Talk. Let's get it. Who-Bangin Sports Talk. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the like button. And we doing this all around, all throughout the week. I'm talking about there's a Boss in the Sauce show. It's going down on Thursday, Wednesday night. And then we also have the MLB show, Light It Up. That they are lighting it up, you know what I'm saying? And I'm about to light one up, you feel me? So this is what it is. Wham Talk. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody that's watching. Shout out to everybody that's doing their thing. All my critiquers, because I got people that's like, I seen you last time. You wasn't doing it right. You didn't breathe when you was talking. All that stuff. I see y'all too. I appreciate you. Love, family, and money. You know what I'm saying? It ain't the money first. It's the money last.